7 days a week. And that's it for today. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Fox News Sunday.
Fox News Sunday is a presentation of Fox News.
Nearly 2,000 people are safe tonight, plucked from their flooded neighborhoods after being caught in Hurricane Ike's path. But the recovery effort in the Gulf Coast, far from over. I'm Julie Banderas, and we are live as Fox reports tonight. The storm has passed and the damage is done.
Power's out. There's no street lights. Please don't venture out unless you absolutely have to.
Now the race is on to save those who stayed behind. Under the Lone Star sky, rescuers mount the largest recovery effort in Texas history. It survived the Great Depression and made it through the dot-com bust. But will it make it until tomorrow? The plan to save the nation's fourth largest investment bank from total collapse. Plus, Republicans love her, and the media loves to talk about her.
Just look at how far we've come. Hillary Clinton, who came so close to the White House, and me, Sarah Palin, who is even closer.
So how does Sarah Palin stack up against her closest political rival? And do Americans feel she's ready to be one heartbeat away from the Oval Office? All hands are on deck after Ike. The National Guard, paramedics, rescue dogs, even structural engineers combing through Galveston, Texas and nearby areas looking for survivors. So far, the Texas governor says nearly 2,000 people have been rescued, but the reality is thousands could remain trapped in their attics, under debris, or even on their rooftops, held captive by floodwaters. And for the people who did survive, many are coming home to nothing.
I mean, everything is totally gone. Everything we have is gone. Yeah. This is what we have left. Everything is gone. Our cars are gone, our house is gone. Wow. We just would never thought that would happen.
But the damage isn't just on land. We're just hearing tonight that Ike destroyed a number of oil production platforms in the Gulf of Mexico, maybe 10 of them, maybe more. We have Team Fox coverage for you tonight, working every angle of the story. Chris Gutierrez with a live look at the aid arriving in Houston. Janice Dean is tracking what's left of the storm in the Fox Weather Center. But first, Steve Harrigan in the hardest hit area, Galveston, Texas. Hi, Steve.
Julie, this pile of debris that we first saw this morning has not gotten any smaller as the day went on. This used to be hotels, restaurants, all Gulf front businesses. The wind's so heavy, it just smacked it down, piled the debris up here. It's really creating a problem for any rescue efforts all across the island. So far, the only people that have come in have been the first responders. Anyone trying to remove this debris still has not really made it here. Movement around the island, a real problem. It's still basically a closed island. You can get off, but you can't come on. Conditions for the several thousand people still here, pretty dire. Most have structural damages in their houses. There's no water. There's nothing open to buy food, no gasoline stations, no cell phone service. We have seen, though, the first bit of help on the way. The National Guard is just down the street. They are giving out ice and water. And around the corner, the Red Cross has opened up. They are, at this moment, feeding 4,000 very hungry people. Julie, back to you.
Steve Harrigan live in Galveston, Texas. And Galveston, by the way, has stood up to countless hurricanes in the past, including the deadliest natural disaster in our nation's history. That was this hurricane back in 1900. They didn't name storms back then. More than 6,000 people were killed when the storm slammed right into the Gulf Coast. And look at the pictures. Here you can actually see the damage from that hurricane alongside the wreckage Ike left behind. But perhaps because of the evacuations before Ike hit, only 9 deaths have been reported so far. And just coming into the newsroom, reports hundreds of first responders in Houston have run out of food and water. That includes National Guardsmen, state troopers, and other emergency workers. They are going hungry and staying at a high school football stadium. Chris Gutierrez is live in Houston with the news. And Chris, what's being done?
You know, Julie, a lot of not only first responders need that food and water, but so do Houstonians. Remember, more than 2 million people still without food and water. So what a local business has done, he's opened up his parking lot here, and he's handing out things like water and ice. Unfortunately, they ran out today, and they're waiting for more. This pallet right here, liquid gold here in the city of Houston this afternoon, and they're going to put that in a warehouse and reopen in the morning. But take a look. As people on I-45 are coming in, this is the sign they're greeted with: no more ice. Unfortunately, earlier today, though, take a look. It was like an assembly line, and these are volunteers who came out here because they heard on the radio that volunteers were needed to hand out free ice and free water, and boy, did they come out. Take a look. It was an assembly line of folks trying to do what they could do, Texans helping Texans, because remember, this wasn't donated by the city, this wasn't donated by the state, and it wasn't donated by the federal government. This was donated by Clear Channel Radio, and they handed that stuff out for the better part of 5+ hours to try and get as much people food and water and ice and things like that, but they simply ran out. They say more trucks are coming tomorrow, and they'll start again tomorrow morning. Julie, back to you in New York.
Chris Gutierrez, thank you so much. Rain, by the way, left over from Ike, adding to the misery for many folks in the Midwest, which has already seen some record flooding. At least 3 deaths in Indiana blamed on the remnants of Ike. And in Chicago, city leaders asking for a disaster declaration from the governor's office. And you can see why. Water so high, reaching mailboxes in some parts. One of the hardest hit communities was actually Albany Park. Nearly 350 homes completely flooded.
Water's pouring in the house. The basement's filling up with water. It's coming in the side, and then it's coming in from the river.
We're moving stuff out of the basement into the first floor. I've been with the water department for 23 years and never seen it this bad.
And the flooding also causing havoc at O'Hare Airport. The folks whose flights weren't canceled saw delays of an hour or more. Let's head over to Janice Dean now. She's got the latest on the remnants of Ike. And even though the storm is pretty much over, I mean, it's still really causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, mostly wind at this point, Julie. We've clocked over 75-mile-per-hour winds in parts of Indiana and Ohio, Cleveland, just wreaking havoc across a big portion of our country, unfortunately. Would you believe this is what remains of a 600-mile wide storm? This is what's left of Ike. No more advisories being issued by the National Hurricane Center, but the flooding continues across the Southern Plains, Central Plains, Ohio Valley, Midwest tonight. And as I mentioned, the real damage right now is the winds. These are all wind advisories posted from Kentucky up across the Ohio River Valley and the Great Lakes, Cincinnati, Columbus, Louisville, Cleveland, parts of Indiana, all clocking winds of up to or past hurricane force. And here are the sustained winds right now in the area. This is going to continue, unfortunately, into the overnight and into tomorrow. And one more piece of news here, Julie, a silver lining maybe. The tropics are quiet for at least the next 5 days. Back to you.
Janice Dean, thank you. A developing story to tell you about right now. This breaking in the heart of New York City. The future of Lehman Brothers, one of America's largest investment banks, may be hanging by a thread. There are new signs tonight that despite the best efforts of top Wall Street executives and the Federal Reserve, Lehman may be edging closer to bankruptcy. And now we're hearing that American and foreign banks are trying right now to come up with a plan that would help shield the global financial system if Lehman goes down. Fox Business Network's Adam Shapiro joins us live outside Lehman Brothers headquarters in Manhattan. And earlier today, in the background of your live shot, the theme song to the movie Titanic was playing, ironically. Yes. Is Lehman a sinking ship?
Well, it depends who you ask, but the employees who are coming out with boxes of personal items and different kinds of things that they want to get before this is settled are telling us they've been told the bankruptcy filing will come tonight. You know, Lehman likes to say they're delivering our firm to clients worldwide, but senior managers right now are figuring out how they're going to deliver this firm into the hands of a bankruptcy court judge. I want you to take a look, Julie, at the lineup of black town cars. Those are the cars that the executives who are going to figure out the fate of this company, those are the cars that are going to take them home tonight. But for several employees, for thousands of people worldwide, we're talking close to 25,000 employees, the company is essentially not going to exist once that bankruptcy filing takes place. What happens to the average person on the street, you and me? This is not the kind of bank where you and I and just normal everyday people have their checking accounts. This is an investment bank that does business primarily with institutional investors. The problem is the ramifications of them getting shut down and then having to sell off their assets will have negative implications for all of us. And that's what you referenced earlier, this worldwide effort of banks and the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. That's what they're trying to do right now, is to create a $50 billion, what we call a backstop, to make sure they can take this bank, this investment bank, down slowly with as little trouble to the rest of us as possible. Julie?
All right, Adam Shapiro, thank you very much. And the Fox Business Network is all over this story. For the very latest news on all of business, especially Lehman Brothers, at 8 p.m., you're not going to want to miss this. Fox Business Network will be having a special report on the Lehman situation and its effects on world markets and your wallet. Again, that is 8 o'clock Eastern Time, only on the Fox Business Network. Well, a war of words outside the home of missing Florida toddler Kaylee Anthony.
I'm right here. I'm right here. And I'm right here too. Cindy, don't get in my face.
Ooh, it's getting ugly in Orlando. Kaylee's grandmother almost coming to blows with a group of angry neighbors, and you will not believe what happens next.
For years, low-dose aspirin has been a cornerstone of heart attack prevention. Now there's new Bayer with Heart Advantage. Ask your doctor about the only low-dose aspirin product that helps lower the risk of heart attack and lowers cholesterol. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin or modify an aspirin regimen.
All the goodness of Stouffer's just got faster. New Stouffer's Easy Express. Family-sized meals made for the microwave and ready in less than 20 minutes. Delicious meals everyone will enjoy. New Stouffer's Easy Express.
Tonight, it was the interview voters wanted.
Do you want 50% of my success?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Now, see what all the hype was about. O'Reilly, Obama, the full interview. Tonight, it's a special weekend edition of the O'Reilly Factor. The captioning for this program is brought to you by
Close shave.
Barbasol.
Better buy Barbasol, Mom.
With 7 great flavors, better buy Barbasol.
Last year, Norfolk Southern and its shipping partners took hundreds of thousands of freight loads off the highway. In fact, they've invested millions to convert even more traffic in the coming years. So it's easy to see how the economy won't be the only thing that benefits. Norfolk Southern, the future of transportation.
Money should not sit around. It should be invested.
Right, like in a nice car.
I'm talking about something that could actually increase in value.
Well, a really nice car can increase in value.
Really?
Really?
I'd put it in Fidelity Mutual Funds. I'd pick 4- and 5-star funds.
And you can drive it.
You're not going to win this argument.
No matter what kind of investor you are, Fidelity can help you make a smart move. Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Contact Fidelity for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully.
Talk about a wake-up call. I had a heart attack at 57. My doctor told me I should have been doing more for my high cholesterol. What was I thinking? But now, I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries if you have several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I learned the hard way, but you may be able to do something.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
Driven, successful, and devoted to her family and country. Now, through exclusive interviews and never-before-seen footage, we take an intimate look into the life of Sarah Palin. This weekend, Greta Van Susteren hosts a revealing special, Governor Sarah Palin, an American Woman.
Screaming, shouting, and a whole lot of bleeping. Cursing, that is. A down and dirty clash outside the home of Casey Anthony between Casey's mother, Cindy, and furious protesters. Check this out.
Cindy, come on, Cindy. You call her a baby one more time. And what are you going to do? Cindy, what are you going to do? Oh, my God. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
You're going to go to jail.
Mother. Just find your kid.
Oh my God. What is wrong with these people? Casey Anthony is facing new charges. That's the 22-year-old mom of theft and check forgery, in addition to charges of child neglect and giving false statements to police. But there's so many people that are so angry and outraged over this story. They've been protesting for weeks now. By the way, Casey Anthony is free after posting bail for a second time. She hasn't been charged in the connection with the disappearance of her daughter, Kaylee, who has been missing since mid-July. Why can't people just mind their own business? Well, the operators of a California commuter train today accusing the train's engineer of causing the deadliest passenger train crash in 15 years. 25 people were killed and more than 100 rushed to the hospital, and the death toll is expected to rise. A tragedy many in the community are struggling to accept.
All I gotta say is I never seen a man cry until I seen a man die.
He texted my sister and told her that she was on her way. She got on the Metrolink to go home.
Officials with the company that ran the train say the engineer did indeed fail to heed a red light. One local television station reporting a teenager was texting with the operator shortly before the crash. Although the National Transportation Safety Board says it's too early at this point to know exactly how the crash actually happened. A Fox report now from William Lajeunesse.
The cause of the deadly accident appears to be human error. Metrolink says that one of its engineers simply missed a red light. But that is not the end of the story. Questions remain. Did the light malfunction? Did the engineer not see the light because of time of day, a medical condition, or simple negligence? And finally, what was the communication between the dispatch center, which saw what was happening, and the engineer of the passenger train? Now, the accident occurred in a rugged area where the rail bed is reduced from 2 tracks to 1. The passenger train was supposed to stop at a red light and let the freight train go by. For some reason, that didn't happen. It blew through the light, through a switch, and into an oncoming train, just as the freight train emerged from a tunnel in the mountains. The trains were traveling about 30, 40 miles an hour, necessary to stop about a half a mile. That wasn't going to happen. In fact, a fire captain told us that the engineer on the freight train actually jumped from his cabin before the impact. Now, investigators have recovered video and data recorders from both trains. They will be evaluating that to unravel this mystery. There will also probably be a renewed call for a nationwide positive train control system. It is a digital GPS hookup that constantly monitors a train's speed, the switches, signals on about 100,000 miles of track around the country. That is something that safety engineers have wanted for many years. The bottom line, 9 people remain in critical condition from one of the deadliest train accidents in U.S. history. In Chatsworth, California, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
William, thank you. From the Holy Land tonight, the words of rage, a band of men trained to kill, sworn to the destruction of one of America's closest allies and devoted to the twisted teachings of the world's most wanted man. A Fox report now from Mike Tobin in Gaza City.
This small group of armed men, Jaish al-Ummah, the army of the nation, is one of the first to defy the iron-fisted rule of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Instead, they claim to follow the violent, radical ideology of al-Qaeda. With just a few members running makeshift military drills and displaying a relatively small arsenal, this group could not pose a threat to Hamas through sheer force. They threaten Hamas instead by speaking out.
Hamas does not apply the rule of God on earth. Osama bin Laden is our brother, and we say to the people of Israel, we swear to God, we are coming to slaughter you.
Once the members of Jaish al-Ummah began holding press conferences and publicly announcing their loyalty to al-Qaeda and shared ideology, that became too much for the Hamas security forces here in the Gaza Strip. The early part of this week, Hamas police began arresting the leadership and the members. With the quality of life in Gaza declining steadily ever since Hamas took power, leaders have reason to fear any movement that rises and claims to offer an alternative. And an association with al-Qaeda takes away from the Hamas claim of legitimacy.
I can say that no, there is no Qaeda in Gaza Strip. In Gaza, there is moderate Islam, moderate movement. They have no connection with the Qaeda.
If life in Gaza doesn't improve, Hamas can only anticipate more Gazans gravitating toward radical alternatives like al-Qaeda. In Gaza, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
It's crunch time for the presidential campaigns, and if you want to compete down the stretch, well, you're going to need a whole lot of cash, and not a problem for Barack Obama. Month after month after month, record fundraiser after record fundraiser. Find out why so many people are digging so deep into their wallets for the Democratic hopeful.
This program is brought to you by the Together RX Access Program.
My name is Tina Marie Smart.
My name is Mark Mihalik.
My name is Shaniqua Davis.
Construction worker Regina. Hi.
These hardworking Americans are part of a growing success story. The free Together RX Access Card. It helps people without prescription drug coverage save on medicines.
It's there for your health. It's there for your families.
Now I'm paying a lot less.
It's so easy. It took one phone call.
So far, over 1.5 million people have signed up. Millions more are eligible. Apply today.
It's given me a sense of security to know that I can take care of my health.
My name is Tiffany, and it's day one of my Crest Pro Health research. Does it really work?
Get the right protection at night with Crest Pro Health toothpaste.
Morning, everyone.
Listen, that's squeaky clean.
Crest Pro Health.
The stuff you want is closer than you think when you join the rewards program that rewards you faster. Stay any 2 qualified nights at Best Western, pay with your MasterCard between September 14th and November 21st, and earn double points. Earn even more at bestwestern.com.
Lose your house in a fire? Suddenly you feel like you're living out there on your own. Good thing there's Farmers Insurance. A designated farmers relocation expert helps get your family into suitable temporary housing and arranges for furniture, housewares, even additional living expenses. Contact a local agent and shield yourself with Farmers. Now when you combine home, auto, and life insurance, you could save an average of $522.
The elements outside are beyond your control. But day in and day out, a Trane system heats, cools, and even cleans the air inside your home perfectly, no matter what Mother Nature may throw at you. To learn more, go to Trane.com. It's hard to stop a train.
6 years ago, I ran my business from my garage. Now I have a high-tech showroom and 9 very skilled employees. I invest a lot of time and money into their training. Naturally, I want to take care of them and provide the best benefits that I can. That's why I joined CoverTN.
If you own or work for a small business that doesn't offer health insurance, CoverTN offers basic coverage with affordable premiums so you can see your doctor and get your medications. Call or go online.
CoverTN allows me to provide a great benefit to my employees, and that gives me a competitive edge.
Please join us at the 2008 Premier Property Mountain Resort Auction, September 13th and 14th in Blue Ridge, Georgia. This auction will showcase many of the finest mountain resort properties in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Over $100 million in real estate to be auctioned, some at no reserve. For more information, please visit www.cruise.com or call 1-800-968-4444.
But tonight we are crossing party lines to address the now very ugly role that sexism is playing in the campaign.
An issue which I am frankly surprised to hear people suddenly care about.
You know, Hillary and I don't agree on everything.
I believe that diplomacy should be the cornerstone of any foreign policy.
And I can see Russia from my house.
I mean, talk Talk about nailing it. Tina Fey has the accent down, the look, the glasses, brilliant. Well, you know you've got the nation's attention when you're parodied in the opening skit of SNL, as you just saw their season premiere last night. Sarah Palin expected to join John McCain on the campaign trail again this week for a dual appearance. But today, McCain and his wife dropped in at a NASCAR race in New Hampshire. He toured the garage area, chatted with drivers, rubbed shoulders with other sporting greats, including former NFL coach Joe Gibbs and Boston Red Sox pitcher Curt Schilling. Molly Henneberg with the news live in Denver tonight. I just can't stop laughing at that skit. It's hysterical.
They were really good, and Tina Fey just nailed the accent, like you said.
She should get an Oscar.
So that's right, she could. She should, just for that, or at least some sort of comedy award. But what you're talking about, Curt Schilling, who campaigned for President Bush in 2004, and he's supporting McCain in 2008. He's known McCain since he was a player for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and former Washington Redskins football coach Joe Gibbs, who is a NASCAR team owner, spoke at the Republican convention and endorsed McCain there. McCain, as you said, was in New Hampshire today at that NASCAR event. Sarah Palin here in Denver, a down day, though, for her. There is a new poll out that shows a significant milestone for the GOP ticket. In the Rasmussen Daily Tracking Poll, it shows McCain hits 50%, Obama 47%, but it's the first time since the Democratic convention that McCain has hit 50%. Rasmussen has one of the largest sampling sizes of national polls. They survey 3,000 likely voters over the course of 3 days. Part of McCain's success may be due to the popularity of his VP candidate, Palin. She's drawing big, enthusiastic crowds. She's in Denver today and participating in campaign meetings and prepping for the week. She starts with a rally in Golden, Colorado tomorrow. It was a pancake breakfast, but now they've turned it into a rally to accommodate more people. Still, the abuse of power investigation in Alaska goes on over her firing of a public safety commissioner. Her husband, Todd, has been subpoenaed, and he's been called a, quote, central figure by the investigator. The McCain camp calls the probe a, quote, smear. McCain and Palin will team up again in Ohio on Tuesday. They'll do town halls together after that in Wisconsin and Michigan. And that's going to be interesting. Town hall, McCain's very familiar with that setting, very comfortable with it. He likes the Q&A with the voters. It'll be the first time for Palin, though, Julie.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Molly Henneberg. Well, for Barack Obama, it's another month and another fundraising record smashed. And talk about breaking a record, bringing in $66 million in just the month of August. Obama shattering his first fundraising record back in February. Obama also expanding his enormous list of donors, adding more than 500,000 new donors to his roster. So what is behind the surge in all that cash? Steve Brown with the news tonight from Chicago. Steve.
Julie, it wasn't that long ago that $100 million was considered a good year for a presidential campaign. Now that just may end up being the goal next month for the Obama campaign. Obama collected a whopping $66 million last month, eclipsing his previous best month of $55 million in February. John McCain collected $47 million in August. But even though the Obama campaign is the most prolific political fundraising operation in American history, the campaign says it may actually net a zero advantage.
We have no doubt that John McCain, between the public financing and the hundreds of millions of dollars that are pouring into the Republican Party, that, you know, we're probably going to be in a position where we're outspent in a lot of different ways.
Outspent how, you're asking? McCain has $84 million from public financing, plus the gobs of cash the Republican National Committee is raising. And there are some in the Obama camp who think in order to keep pace with the Republicans that Obama may have to raise $100 million in September and again in October just to keep up. Julie?
Steve Brown, thank you. Well, from destroyed homes to flooded refineries, Hurricane Ike left parts of the Gulf Coast in tatters, literally. That includes much of the nation's oil refineries. Next, how the federal government is helping ease the pain at the pump.
What's new in the neighborhood? All-you-can-eat riblets, all-you-can-eat shrimp, or all-you-can-eat chicken fingers. Your choice, starting at just $9.99 for a limited time only, and only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Introducing new Fix-It Comfort with a soothing essence of natural chamomile. Helps prevent denture irritation while maintaining long, strong hold. Try new Fix-It Comfort.
All the goodness of Stouffer's,
just got faster. New Stouffer's Easy Express. Family-sized meals made for the microwave and ready in less than 20 minutes. Delicious meals everyone will enjoy. New Stouffer's Easy Express.
Free Wi-Fi, giving you the freedom to get out and work wherever you want. Courtyard, it's a new stay.
All around the world, men with erectile dysfunction have taken 36-hour Cialis. Today, men can also be ready with another dosing option, Cialis for daily use, a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
36-hour Cialis or Cialis for daily use. Ask your doctor if a Cialis option is right for you. So when the moment is right, you can be ready.
My good friend Boone Pickens and I agree about compressed natural gas. CNG is the best fuel to reduce America's addiction to foreign oil. CNG costs about 40% less than gasoline. It's ready to rescue our economy, enhance national security, and reduce pollution. So I'm getting behind the Pickens plan and its transportation solution with CNG Now to show exactly how you can make the switch. By converting just 10% of our vehicles to CNG, we can lower our use of foreign oil by nearly $50 billion per year. So let's ask Washington to put those billions to work as incentives to build and buy CNG vehicles like the rest of the world enjoys. Incentives for retailers to sell CNG, for drivers to convert their current cars and trucks to CNG, and to install home refueling units that connect to residential gas lines. Please visit cngnow.com and help America make the switch.
Sakes alive, this is a fine sectional. Who makes it?
Lazy Boy. And right now, you can find great savings throughout the store.
Sectionals, sofas, love seats. What's next? Some cockamamie thing called a chair and a half? I'm going to stick with the sofa.
Great savings and financing this comfortable won't last long. Comfort, it's what we do. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
Bottom of the hour, time for the top of the news now. Rescue teams now spreading all over the Gulf Coast searching for survivors. Crews now trying to reach people stranded in the floods left behind by Hurricane Ike. Nearly 2,000 people rescued so far, and those who fled now praying they still have a home. Many of them huddled in trailers and shelters, venturing out only for much-needed supplies.
I done run out of water and food and everything, you know, but I was going to just stick it out. And those guys come through last night, so I came on over here.
But folks trying to see if their homes are actually still standing or actually being turned away at city limits. Casey Stiegel live in Kemah, Texas to tell us why. Hi, Casey.
Hi, Julie. It's very simple. It is still too dangerous, especially when you factor in the power outages and the downed lines. I want to give you an example of what 100-mile-an-hour plus winds will do for a sustained period of time, like we saw when this storm made landfall. I'm standing in someone's backyard. They tried the best they could to secure the garage door. Follow me around this way. The door actually blew off, creating a wind tunnel through their garage right here. And you can literally see where the wind, for a long period of time, blew right through here, and it bent this aluminum door in half. Absolutely incredible. We have seen these pictures playing out time and time again as we've been driving around assessing the damage for ourselves. Now, the good news tonight, some progress is being made when it comes to those search and recovery operations and restoring the power. We have some video, in fact, to show you of some of the work that's already being done. Take a look. Although officials want to remind people that they have to be patient because this is a very gradual process. In fact, search and rescue rescue could take up to 2 full days. We have already seen, however, TxDOT crews working to clear major roadways. Heavy equipment like this brought in to remove boats and other debris that litter many of the streets in and around Houston. And listen to this. Earlier today, Fox News found a group of people who rode the storm out in Galveston and became stranded. So tired of waiting for first responders, they grabbed what they could and started a 20-mile walk off the island down Interstate 45 to the nearest open road, and they were desperately looking for help.
Never would have thought we'd be walking down the highway at this age, for sure. You know, at no age really, because we always had a job, we always worked, we had good jobs, and hopefully we'll get back to them.
And that man you just heard from was walking with his wife. Today was her 55th birthday, and she has spent the whole day walking down that portion of Interstate 45. They were pushing a baby carriage with the only belongings they had remaining from this storm. They lost a car that they've only had for 2 weeks. Their house was destroyed. Absolutely incredible, heart-wrenching when you consider thousands and thousands of people have stories just like those, Julie.
Yeah, and those boat owners, I mean, watching those bulldozers literally just rolling those boats over, unbelievable the damage. Casey Stiegel, though, thank you very much. And pictures like the ones you just saw there coming in from Texas and all over neighboring states showing us the sheer destructive power of Ike, like these photos sent in by you. This is actually from a viewer in Fort Bend County. And take a look at this person's house. It is just ripped apart by the massive storm. And this is another view from the outside. I guess insulation strewn all over the yard. We got an outside picture coming up in a second. This is obviously a picture of the inside, but we want to get more dramatic pictures. Laura Engel, in fact, has many more. She has them from our New York newsroom.
Hi, Julie. Well, our viewers are giving us a vivid image of what it is like to live through such a menacing storm with their personal photos. Let's take a look at this picture taken in the Clear Lake area. That's about 1 mile from the NASA Johnson Space Center. Look at that tree pulled out by its massive roots in front of this house. A lot of you are telling us about impassable roads because of debris, trees, and floodwater. Here's a look at one street in Jacksonville, Texas, where a tree is creating a massive roadblock. Downed trees are everywhere, as far north as Louisville, Kentucky, where a tree was turned into a bench by one of our young viewers. And you gotta love this one. Check out this little boy making the most of the situation, casting a line and fishing off of his front porch. We like to see that he's wearing a life vest, too. No word on what he might be fishing for, but we sure hope that he catches something big and sends us a picture of it. We know that we have more of you out there with great perspective on the damage, and we want you to send us your pictures if you can get them to us safely. So log on to foxnews.com and the YouReport link to share your story. Julie.
All right, Laura Engel, thank you. President Bush, by the way, planning to head down to Texas on Tuesday. Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff and other federal and state officials also visiting the disaster zone. They did today. And so far, ice, water, and food has been slow in getting to the hardest hit areas. FEMA and Red Cross officials even saying that their top priority in the next few days, getting supplies to the folks who need them most. Shannon Bream with the News Tonight live in Washington. Shannon.
Search and rescue. President Bush says that is still the top priority in the wake of Hurricane Ike. FEMA officials said today they've already completed 2,500 search and rescue missions. FEMA is also continuing to coordinate efforts with a number of other agencies, including the Coast Guard and the Department of Homeland Security. In fact, Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff was able to survey the scene from the air this afternoon, providing the president with up-to-the-minute information about the post-Ike aftermath. And based on that information, the president is highlighting a number of key areas that have to be tackled in order to help those devastated by Ike as they now try to start beginning their recovery. Top issues include restoring electricity and getting the sewer and water systems up and running. And of course, the president is also closely monitoring the situation with the gas pipelines in the Gulf Coast region. With talk that supply could be hampered for several days, potentially driving up prices, the president is vowing to make sure no one takes advantage of that situation.
The federal government, along with state governments, will be monitoring very carefully as to whether or not consumers are being mistreated at the pump, in other words, gouged. It's very important for our fellow citizens during this period of temporary disruption to be treated fairly.
One of the things the president's already done, along with the Department of Energy and the EPA, is to suspend gasoline formulation rules. And that makes it easier to import more gas from outside sources until all the refineries and pipelines are back at top capacity. Julie?
Shannon Bream, Washington. Thank you, Shannon. From California to Connecticut, Americans are looking at a spike in prices at the pump. That's because Ike damaged several oil platforms out in the Gulf of Mexico. And it also forced more than 20% of America's oil refineries to shut down for at least the next week, maybe even longer. The U.S. Department of Energy, though, wasting no time releasing more than 250,000 barrels of oil from America's Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But gas is already scarce in Houston. Most of the city's gas stations don't have any fuel, and fears of a shortage are pushing gas prices way up to over $5 a gallon in some places. Now, take a look at this. According to AAA, the national average price of a gallon of regular gas is right now standing at $3.79. That's up 6 cents from just yesterday. Cuba also recovering from Hurricane Ike. At least 4 people were killed here, 200,000 homes damaged or destroyed. Ike actually made landfall in Cuba twice last week, spreading floods and destruction across the entire island. Some kids trying to make the best of it, taking advantage of the chance to go surfing in the streets. Taiwan getting hit with its 4th typhoon this year. This one packing winds of 130 miles an hour. Toppling trees and triggering floods and landslides. The government telling people to stay inside to avoid flying debris. The storm also canceling flights and train service in the capital, Taipei. Afghanistan. He fought with the U.S. troops to overthrow the Taliban in 2001. Now a governor and former cabinet minister has been killed in an apparent Taliban bombing. His driver and 2 bodyguards also killed in the attack. Police say it happened outside Kabul as the governor was on his way to work. India. Protests turning violent in Kashmir. Muslim demonstrators throwing stones at Indian police who fought back with tear gas and batons. The crowds protesting India's control of this part of Kashmir. The mostly Muslim region has been divided between India and Pakistan for decades. And that's a wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds. An American financial institution could be breathing its last tonight. Lehman Brothers, the investment bank that was founded before the Civil War, reportedly stands tonight on the brink of bankruptcy. If it goes down, what does that mean for the global economy? What does it mean for you and me? Answers in 3 minutes.
I'm living proof.
I'm living proof.
I am living proof. I was worried about my cholesterol.
And I needed to do something about it.
I ate Quaker oatmeal
for 30 days.
And it helped lower my cholesterol.
My cholesterol dropped 9 points.
16 points.
6 points.
He's living proof. It works.
I'm living proof.
They have 25 years of clinical proof.
Living proof and 25 years of clinical proof. That's Quaker oatmeal.
Temperatures and
a couple of weeks, he's having problems with his pitching elbow, and team doctors want him to sit in games.
High pressure system continues to sit over the area, and that's going to mean more.
Once you've dealt with the things that come between you, don't let erectile dysfunction get in the way. Viagra, America's most prescribed ED treatment, can help you enjoy a more satisfying sexual experience. To learn more, spend some quality time with Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease in vision or hearing. Now's the time. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for
you. During endless shrimp at Red Lobster, you can have something decadent with something crunchy, then something creamy, then something new. Like shrimp in a spicy Cajun butter sauce. And after that, you can do it all again. It's endless shrimp. Indulge in endless choices of your favorite shrimp dishes. While the shrimp are endless, this offer isn't. Come in now for the best value of the year at Red Lobster.
They tickle, they tease, and
and you sneeze. Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. One pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
We've come all the way out here, and you'll never believe what we've found. The Internet. Seems it can't hide here either. Simply insert the AT&T Laptop Connect card. You're connected at up to 3G speeds. Email business proposals and place orders online. All on the go. I'm Bill Curtis. And I've just found the Internet.
The Internet can't hide anymore. Switch to the network with the best coverage and get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free.
Now another big story. We want to take you back to Midtown Manhattan right now. We are watching the headquarters of Lehman Brothers as something could unfold any minute. This is America's fourth largest investment bank, and it is in very real danger tonight of declaring bankruptcy. So what does this mean for you and me? What does this mean for the global market? Adam Shapiro with the Fox Business Network joining us once again. He's live outside Lehman Brothers headquarters in New York. And Adam, earlier you talked about all these black car service cars right in front. What are they waiting for?
Right. They're waiting for the executives inside Lehman Brothers who are going to be taking away after they make the decision of whether or not, and it's pretty much a foregone conclusion, they are going to be filing for bankruptcy at some point this evening, take them home. But the real issue is, by filing for bankruptcy, what does that mean for the average person on the street? And immediately it means very little, because this is not the kind of bank that most of us in the United States do our banking. They don't have the checking account, they don't have the savings account that is insured by the FDIC. So immediately it won't have an impact on you and me, Julie. But tomorrow, a lot of other banks, a lot of other investment banks, a lot of other commercial banks are very concerned that the value of their investments, their assets, might start to fall because of the implications of this. So the Federal Reserve is in go mode, trying to assure everybody that there's plenty of money to borrow just in case.
Okay, so globally then, when will we be seeing this in the global markets, the effects of this? I mean, is this an instant thing?
You're going to see it in the next few minutes.
Wow. And it could happen any minute
they're going to declare bankruptcy within the next few hours, but you'll start seeing it in trading overseas, even before they declare bankruptcy, of people who are concerned about, they're going to lose their money if they hold stock in Lehman. But keep in mind, if you've got a 401k right now, chances are you don't got a 401k with Lehman Brothers. Your 401ks there's a similar kind of protection for your 401k through the federal government. Not losses in the market, but you can still get your securities. You own those. So even if the firm managing it should go bankrupt, God forbid, and very unlikely, you still own that 401k. They just are no longer going to be the people to manage it. And keep in mind, this investment bank doesn't do that kind of business for average Joes and Janes like you and me.
All right. Adam Shapiro, thanks for clearing it up for us, though, nonetheless. A big night for Lehman Brothers, unfortunately. All right, Adam, thank you. All right, we want to lighten up the mood a little bit. We call them man's best friend, but that honor might not be good enough for one dog in Arizona. You're going to love this story almost as much as I do. Buddy is a German Shepherd. He is a service dog, and his owner, John Stalnaker, suffers from seizures. So Buddy is trained to call 911 whenever Joe suffers an attack. Well, last week Joe collapsed, and Buddy knew just what to do.
Do you need police or paramedics?
But he always looks out for me. He does everything from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, and sometimes thereafter.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Paramedics raced to the scene. Joe spent 2 days in the hospital, but he has made a complete recovery thanks to his best friend, Buddy. That is awesome. Arizona, 4 cheerleaders and a coach sent to the hospital after the van they were in rolled over on the way to a football game. 2 of them, still in critical condition, were told the driver swerved to avoid hitting a dog and lost control. 2 people in the car behind the van were killed when they tried to avoid the wreck. Massachusetts, vanilla extract under lock and key at this Stop and Shop. Managers say they moved the stuff behind the counter after finding empty bottles around the store. Apparently, people have been chugging the stuff without buying it. Vanilla extract can have as much as 35% alcohol content. That's as much as many hard liquors. Boston. It's not alcohol, but foul language that has gotten these Batman comics yanked off the shelves. The all-star Batman and Robin is packed with the F word, S word, even the C word. It was supposed to be blacked out, but those words are still legible through the shading. These comics fetching as much as $140 on eBay. New York. How many cannolis can you eat in 6 minutes? This man ate 20, enough to come out on top at the 7th annual cannoli eating competition in New York City. And the winner says he's not just about Italian pastry. Next, he's moving on to a competitive hot sausage eating contest. And that's a Fox Watch Across America.
Fox Across America is brought to you by Applebee's. Send us real video clips of you at Applebee's, like in our commercials.
Call it the battle of the VP hopefuls. Palin versus Biden, the veteran senator versus Sarah Barracuda. So what do Americans really think about the candidates? Our own Griff Jenkins took a look at the latest polls, and you may be surprised at what he found.
A Hannity and Colmes exclusive. Sean sits down with Governor Sarah Palin. From healthcare, energy, and the economy to her strategy to face off in the debates. Don't miss part 1 of this exclusive interview.
The new 375-horsepower Hyundai Genesis can go from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, even faster than a Porsche Boxster. Which means, if it starts now, it will reach 60 miles an hour now. Find out more at HyundaiGenesis.com.
My doctor told me something I never knew. As we get older, our bodies become less able to absorb calcium. He recommended Citracal. It's a different kind of calcium. Calcium citrate with vitamin D for unsurpassed absorption to nourish your bones.
All the goodness of Stouffer's just got faster. New Stouffer's Easy Express. Family-sized meals made for the microwave and ready in less than 20 minutes. Delicious meals everyone will enjoy. New Stouffer's Easy Express.
In today's economy, everybody's cutting back. From the looks of Louis, he's cut back a little more than most.
Not again.
Yep. No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Kia is the best value on the market. Quality, safety, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty priced thousands less than the competition. And if you have a job and $149, I can sell you any new vehicle on our lot. It's only at Hickory Hollow Carnival Kia and Carnival Kia at Rivergate. And remember, please don't you leave till you see me.
6 years ago, I ran my business from my garage. Now I have a high-tech showroom and 9 very skilled employees. I invest a lot of time and money into their training. Naturally, I want to take care of them and provide the best benefits that I can. That's why I joined CoverTN.
If you own or work for a small business that doesn't offer health insurance, CoverTN offers basic coverage with affordable premiums, so you can see your doctor and get your medications. Call or go online.
CoverTN allows me to provide a great benefit to my employees, and that gives me a competitive edge.
Want to know about local online sweepstakes, promotions, games, and more? Visit RecRoom.com for your chance to win big from local businesses. Plus, get the scoop on local happenings. RecRoom.com. More than fun and games.
Go to RecRoom.com to find out about summer events in Nashville. Rec Room is brought to you by your local Dodge dealers.
I'm hoping to be an actor when I grow up. So I had to keep the teeth pretty.
At Snodgrass King Pediatric Dentistry, nothing is more important than your child's smile.
Getting that smile is much like getting an education. It's not obtained overnight. It requires long-term dedication and commitment on the part of the parents.
Not only do we treat kids, we also treat adults. We also treat their cosmetic needs. We also do oral surgery and braces.
Sarah Palin making her very first solo speeches on the campaign trail this weekend before she joins back up with Senator John McCain later this week. Governor Palin has helped McCain draw pretty big crowds at their joint appearances together, and now it seems McCain is counting on Palin to bring in them the money as well. Palin's going to show him the money. The Alaska governor is now on an aggressive fundraising schedule with one event every 2 days for the rest of the campaign. This as we get a look at brand new polls comparing Palin to Barack Obama's vice presidential pick, Joe Biden. A Fox report now from Griff Jenkins.
The heart of the GOP clearly loves it.
The commentators are split.
Sarah Palin just is not going to matter in the final analysis.
I love Bob, but he's wrong about this one.
But what do regular Americans think about Sarah Palin? Laura, what do you think about Governor Sarah Palin?
I think she's great. She's courageous.
She's quite a phenomenon. I had never heard of her.
I think she's tremendous.
Our Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll asked voters nationwide what they think of the moose-hunting, lipstick-wearing hockey mom from Alaska. Just 1 week in the national spotlight, Palin is already as well known as her opponent, the six-term U.S. Senator Joe Biden, and apparently just as popular. Palin's favorability rating, 54%. Biden, 51%. An overnight household sensation. How'd that happen?
She just flashed on the scene, and I think she captured a lot of hearts across the country.
She just seems just like we are. She's a hockey mom. She drops her kids on and off from school.
Folks also think she understands the problems of everyday life in America. She edges out Senator Obama by 1 point in our poll, 33% to 32%, and does better than Senators McCain and Biden. Some in the media question whether she was doing right by her family by running for high office.
I need to know as a citizen, is she going to put her country first or her children? You can't do it all.
What do the voters think? 70% said accepting the Veep nod was the right thing to do. 17% thought it was the wrong choice.
Real life, real issues. I think that's what this country needs.
In fact, voters trust her counsel more than they trust her opponents. We asked, if you had to make the toughest decision of your life, from whom would you rather get advice from? 43% said Palin, 39% Biden. But our poll was not all good news for Palin. When it came to which vice presidential candidate Americans would be more comfortable with if called upon to serve as president, 51% were more comfortable with Biden. Only 38% said Palin.
Palin has some interesting characteristics, but I would be awfully nervous about seeing her as president at this point.
So the Alaska Gov may have some more work to do convincing voters, but she definitely has the Brownie vote all locked up.
I think that Sarah Palin has confidence, character, and courage in her, and that she'll be a wonderful vice president.
The littlest Republican, my producer just called that little girl. I think that's pretty appropriate. Well, we have seen the damage Ike did as it made landfall across the Gulf Coast. Now the storm is bringing in its rain and powerful winds to folks in the Midwest and the Northeast. What Ike still has in store when the Fox Report returns.
The 24/7 market at Courtyard. More choices, more convenience, and more freedom on the road. Courtyard, it's a new stay.
Wheat Thins takes wheat to all new levels of excitement. The crunchy, nutty taste of Wheat Thins. Wheat unleashed.
Mighty Fearless. Mighty Dog.
Heard you coming back to town, hoping that you'll come around and see me. Thinking about you so long, how'd I get things so wrong? You don't need me. Now my new love, she adores me. But every time I'm with her, I'm still thinking of you.
Norfolk Southern, the future of transportation.
Money should not sit around. It should be invested.
Right, like in a nice car.
I'm talking about something that could actually increase in value.
Well, a really nice car can increase in value.
Really?
Really?
I'd put it in Fidelity Mutual Funds. I'd pick 4- and 5-star funds.
And you can drive it.
You're not going to win this argument.
No matter what kind of investor you are, Fidelity can help you make a smart move. Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Contact Fidelity for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully.
I have COPD, which makes it hard to breathe. But now that I'm breathing better with Advair, I can be my son's first mate.
For people with COPD, including chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both, great news. Advair helps significantly improve lung function. While nothing can reverse COPD, Advair's different from other medications because it's the only product with an anti-inflammatory and a long-acting bronchodilator working together to help you breathe better. Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than twice a day. People with COPD taking Advair may have a higher chance of pneumonia. Advair may increase your risk of osteoporosis and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Advair.
Thanks, Dad. I'm glad I could help. Ask your doctor how Advair helps improve lung function for better breathing.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at advaircopd.com.
Help us donate over 30 million servings of fresh vegetables to those in need by purchasing D8 Juicer Soup. Because like vegetables, giving to others can be good for your heart.
Just because Hurricane Ike has lost steam as it crosses through the nation's midsection, it doesn't mean the problems are over yet. Janice Dean live in the Fox Extreme Weather Center. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Julie. And this could go down as one of the costliest hurricanes on record behind Andrew and Katrina. This is where we're dealing with what remains of Ike. By this time tomorrow, it will be just a memory. But of course, all of those folks across the Gulf Coast and the Midwest will be cleaning up after this storm. These are all the high wind watches and warnings that are still in effect. Julie, look at some of the winds that we have clocked. 65-mile-per-hour gusts. Injuries reported at the Speedway in Indianapolis. 75-mile-per-hour winds in Louisville. Partial roof collapse at Bowman Field. 65-mile-per-hour, or rather 61-mile-per-hour winds in Cincinnati. 75-mile-per-hour winds in Columbus. These are sustained winds right now, but anywhere from 30 to 40-mile-per-hour gusts not out of the question. We are checking all of these hurricanes off as we go. Kyle will be next. Back to you, Julie.
All right, Janice Dean, thank you very much. And on this day, in 1959, the push to explore a galaxy reaches new heights. It began with a space race, a battle between the U.S. and the former Soviet Union to be the first to put a man on the moon. But before Neil Armstrong, there was Luna 2, an unmanned Russian spacecraft becoming the first man-made object to reach the moon's surface 49 years ago today. And now you know the news as Fox reports this Sunday, September 14th, 2008. I'm Julie Banderas. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, everyone.
I'm Edie Hill at the world headquarters of the Fox News Channel. Welcome to this special hour of The Factor, where we'll show you Bill O'Reilly's interview with Senator Barack Obama. Now, Bill's time with the Democratic presidential candidate had originally been spread out over 4 nights. This hour, we'll show you the interview in its entirety, where they tackled